You saw the title, I have my glasses on. This is going to be a very interesting video because in today's brand review, we are going to do a deep dive into the brand Lethal Cosmetics. And that makes me extra proud because Lethal Cosmetics is a Berlin-based brand, so that means they're from Germany, and I'm so proud just of the fact that a German brand has such great reputation in the beauty community all over this world. The brand itself was founded only in 2016, so it's a super young brand by the two founders named Anna and Kai. The reason why they founded this brand was they were unable to find makeup that just was special enough, vegan makeup, because that is one of their main things. They do vegan, non-animal tested makeup. And it was nothing like that could fit their needs. So they were like, okay, let's do it ourselves. And Anna basically has a background in cosmetic science and has a lot of knowledge about that color, pairing colors, creating colors and that shit. While Kai, the other one, is working on website and packaging and is the main designer behind that. In 2017, they had their first launch of products and they sold out in hours. And I think from that on, we have seen so many great items from Lethal Cosmetics. And to this day, they have over 300 different products and they're not sitting in their bedroom or a garage anymore. They have a lab, they have employees, and they're super big. Lethal Cosmetics itself has everything around eyeshadows. I think that is their main part, but they also have lip products. I myself, I have never tried anything else than the eyeshadows, and I do have 70. Yes, you heard right, 70, 70, that number between 69 and 71. There is not a lot of brand review that I can tell you because I want to talk about the eyeshadows more specific, but they have different values that they just live for. And I just want to read that off my little list. Animal friendly, that means they're vegan, no animal testing. They're human friendly. That means all of their production is German based in fair environments with fair payouts and all that. And I don't know how important that is to you, but a lot of eyeshadows, powder products, they contain mica. Mica is an ingredient to just formulate eyeshadows or powder products in general, and they just get their mica from secure sources. Sources of mica as an ingredient is a whole rabbit hole that you could fall down, but let me tell you, there are a lot of labs, a lot of brands that have not secure sources, that their mica is just basically produced or gotten under very, very inhuman circumstances, but that is something that Lethal Cosmetics does not want to support, so they do something else. They are also environmental friendly. That means they all have a refill system and all of their little palettes are refillable. This is now a quad and you can basically always buy the empty one, buy the pants, and then you can create your own palettes. And their last value is they're clean and safe. That means no chemical, no microplastic, no harmful ingredients whatsoever. I actually wrote an email to the Lethal Cosmetics team asking for more info about the brand that I can include in that video, and that is unfortunately 3 weeks ago and they haven't answered yet. So I guess that what I found on the website and found on the internet in general is basically the most important things that they allow people to know. And that is no bashing at all. I understand that because a company should have its own secrets, so that's completely fine to me. Besides eyeshadows, and before we get into the swatches, I want to show you some other things that I have from Lethal Cosmetics, and that are their cheek products. I have two little face palettes that I made myself from Lethal Cosmetics. One is this big old with 4 different pans, and these are all 4 from the Teresa is Lethal collab that happened last year? This year? I don't know. Somewhere between the last 5 to 12 months. You get 2 blushes and these 2 highlighters, and I accidentally forgot today that I have these, so I do not wear them today because I already have finished my face. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really confused these past couple days. And the other palette is a trio, and this is from their latest collection. And this basically has 3 beautiful blushes. These blushes from Lethal Cosmetics are blushes on crack. Let me tell you this. Let me just demonstrate this on my hand. This is a blush brush. It is just a bit stained. This is a blush. This is Pansy, the shade. The shade is called Pansy. And let me just, I take this like end part and just dab in. Do you see this? And now let me just apply this, like, what the fuck? I was just like tickling this blush and I get so much pigment. These blushes are very, very, very good. I am not sure if they do have non-shimmery blushes. As far as I know, there are only those shimmery blushes and they are just glowingly beautiful. I highly recommend checking these out. Originally, I had the plan to swatch every single of the 70 eyeshadows that I have from Lethal Cosmetics, but to be honest, I did the first 14 and my arm is already falling off, so we are just doing this in a different way, but I try to incorporate as many as possible on the 2 eye looks that we are going to do. But let me just show you the eyeshadows that I own from Lethal Cosmetics. So the first thing that I ever bought was this quad, and I try to hold it in the way that you can see the way these shades shift. These colors, these multi-chromes that basically front up look like this, they have a translucent base and then a very sheer pigment mix to it, so that you have the most amazing iridescent shift to them. When I got these first 4 shades, I have to admit, I was like, and that's now the magic of Lethal Cosmetics? I don't get it. So the most logical thing to do so is to get more. The second palette that I bought is this, and here I have 1 row of these iridescent multi-chromes and then a row with colorful duo and multi-chromes. And here, especially with this shade, this is called Cryptic, I really started to see the magic of Lethal Cosmetics. And because I was not satisfied at this point, I got more. So I built a palette that contains only multi-chrome. Look at this beautiful selection of multi and duochromes. I am just so shitting my pants because this is so beautiful. After that multi-chrome palette, I felt like it was time to branch out into the mattes. So I designed myself this palette that has mostly mattes, and then we have 3 marble shades. These are not duo or multi-chrome, these are just marble shades that have a metallic finish to them. And let me tell you, these are one of the most beautiful metallic formula I ever tried, and the mattes, holy fucking cow, they are amazing. So of course, the consequence when you fell in love with multi-chromes, then I fell in love with metallics, and then I also fell in love with the duochromes and the mattes. What do? you do more. So I built myself this palette that is basically the blue, green, purple vibe, because when I designed this palette, I saw so many cool looks that I could have done with this, and I probably used this only once, but this is definitely nothing I could ever declutter. I mean, look at these beautiful shades in this palette. The next palette that I designed was this one, and you can already see, I mean, I love purple eyeshadow and I already loved red eyeshadow when I did this palette, and I divided that into like 6 mattes and 6 iridescent multi-chromes again. And the newest eyeshadows that they have are these motherfuckers. So let me just show you them in a close-up. I did a swatch video on this because these 6 are the new metal-like duochromes, and these are like liquid metal shades, while this down here, this is the shade Bismuth. This is supposed to be a holographic shade. And since we're not swatching all of them, let me show you my 4 favorite shades. Why 4? Because I just want to ruin these 4 fingers. Since I limited myself to only 4 shades, I didn't want to waste one to the mattes. You will see the application when we do the looks, but here are my 4 favorite shimmers, and now I will swatch them for you. So this is Untamed. This is a translucent base with gold and silver reflects and a bit of a purple hue to it. Maybe even some green. Then we have Nebula, which is a beautiful, deep duochrome to yellow, and I don't know, can the camera see this? But there's also blue going on green. Like, that was a long description of an eyeshadow shade. Then out of the new metals line, this is Palladium. I mean, come on. If this does not look like liquid metal, what the fuck does? Well, probably liquid metal. And the last one is one of those marble shades. This is Palace or Pallas. This is a black metallic, but it's not like intimidating black. So these are my 4 favorites, and now that you have seen them, I will try to not incorporate them into the 2 looks. If you want to see swatches of all of these palettes, you have to be a bit more patient. You have the series here on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, where I swatch every single eyeshadow palette I own in under a minute. I haven't done any lethal shades yet, but at some point I will. So if you're interested in that, and if you are a little bit of a nosy motherfucker as I am, and you love to sneak into people's eyeshadow collections and see the swatches, I am first of all the worst swatcher that has ever come to YouTube, but I swatch with a passion. So just stay a bit more patient, subscribe so you don't miss out these videos, and then you will see swatches of every single lethal palette. Lethal Cosmetics, by the way, does not only do like palette designer, they also do have pre-made palettes, and I highly recommend follow them on Instagram because they do super fun pre-made palettes over there that you, with a quick link from their story, if you like the color story that they put together with the shades, you can directly buy. It's amazing. Now let us start with the first eye look on this eye. I'm starting with this taupey shade that is called Unearthed. I apply this as a classic transition shade. I'm now going into this muted purpley blue that is called Circadian, and I use this to deepen up the crease. And you can already see how easy these mattes just blend together, how easy they apply. You do not need any kind of special skills. It is just amazing. Everything just works together at Lethal Cosmetics. I want to stay in that muted blue vibe, so I'm going into this shade that is called Insomnia. This is a bit dusty. Just blew it off and just tap your brushes. I mean, that can happen. But the dustier an eyeshadow is, the easier it blends most of the time. And I just used this to deepen the crease and the outer V area, and I already applied some on the lower lash line out of an accident, but we can incorporate that later. I do this always, it does not matter what brand it is, but I highly recommend use a glitter glue with Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadows, because I feel otherwise you might end up with a bit of a bukkake on your face, because even though the quality of these is amazing, they do have fallout. That is just a fact. To me, fallout is actually nothing bad, because usually, if it's not for like those brand reviews, I do my eyes before I do the complexion. So I love to work messy. I want to do the most creative messy mess on my face, and then I clean it up afterwards. But now I have to be, of course, a bit more careful. Let's keep the blue-purple vibe, and I'm going into this shade that is called Biome, I don't know. And I apply this on the outer part. How pretty is this? I mean, come on. I'm now going into one of those marble shades. This is called Mariana Trench, and I just swipe the brush across it a couple times so that I pick up something from every shade that is in that marble, and I apply this in the center. These 2 shades work really nice together. Now let's go a bit crazy, and I'm tapping into Mercury. This is from the metal line, the newest one. I apply this shade basically on the inner third, and I'm dragging that a bit over the blue in the center. And you can already see the difference between this and this shade, because this is your very smooth multi-chrome. Then you have a marbled metallic that has some dimension, but this is on crack. This is glittery, beautiful shininess. So I'm now tapping into Insomnia again, and I apply this on the lower lash line. But I'm also using Circadian and start on the inner lower lash line part and blend that outwards so that we have like a similar vibe. And with Unearthed, I now go on top and just basically smoke it down really far and on the outside a bit more. I don't know if you can tell, but I do have quite a bit of fallout from those mattes, but take your spoolie and then just dust that shit away. And since we have this blue vibe going on, I'm going into the shade that is called Singularity. And I load up my brush, probably a bit too heavy. Who the fuck cares? And then I just apply this on the inner corner and bringing this light graphic liner in the crease. So that is now the first finished look without any mascara. And here you have the finished first look with mascara. Now let's do something crazy on the other eye. So this time I'm starting with Wilted, and this acts again as a transition shade, even though you will probably not see this when we're finishing the look, but it helps just blending everything together very nicely. And of course I have to use the red that is called Predation, or Predation, I think it's Predation. And I really load up my brush. And I apply this directly into the crease. I'm so happy with that shade. You cannot imagine how happy I am. I'm going back into Wilted, and what I do is I blend out the edges with this shade because I don't want to lose any intensity of this red shade. I just want to soften the edges. And do you know what is a great match to red eyeshadow? Gold. So that's why I'm using this color that is called Queen. Course, first some glitter glue. Now I'm getting directly into the shade. This is a delicious gold, let me tell you. And what I do is I just tap this directly in the center like that, and that's it. I mean, that's not the look because we will use something else for the inner and outer corner, but you see, that's it for the gold now. I'm now using this multi-chrome that is called Solitary, and that shifts from red to yellow to bronze to orange to a bit of pink. So it's a really wild color. And I used this on the outer parts, blending that into the Queen shade. And of course, on the inner part, blending that into the Queen shade. You know, that look is a bit too easy. Let's now turn up the volume. I'm going into this dark blue shade that is called Nightshade. You know, I have the names glued on the back, so this is Nightshade. And I use this on a very small, dense smudger brush, and I smudge that on the lower lash line, just like that. I go back into Wilted, and I use this to blend out that Nightshade, because, I mean, it's a bit harsh, but I want to soften it more. As if this look isn't loud enough, we're now going into Hyperspace. And I use this as inner corner highlight. And this is now the second finished look with the Lethal Cosmetics shades. And here's the finished look, but this time with mascara. To be honest, for the sake of my life, I cannot decide what look I like more. I think this is, even though this is intense and colorful, a little bit calmer than this look, because this is also intense and colorful. But since I was working a bit more with like complementary colors, this is louder. This is not as soft. This is like, I punch you in the face and then you cry and I run away look, kind of. Both looks would benefit from a nice eyeliner, but I don't feel like doing liner today, so just imagine I did. Lethal Cosmetics has one of the most amazing eyeshadow formula in this whole industry. To be honest, I like the Lethal Cosmetics matte, I'm talking matte shades formula, better than Natasha Denona. When it comes to their shimmers and multi-chromes, I love the formula, but I don't think it's the best, because the best multi-chrome formula, in my opinion, has Blend Bunny, but they have only 4 multi-chromes until this point. I'm very curious to see if Blend Bunny will come out with more. But if it wasn't Blend Bunny, if that would not exist, I think Lethal Cosmetics would take that spot. Yeah, 100%. They require a bit of work, so they're not like easy foolproof, but if you're open to that and if you're willing to do an extra step with the glitter glue, you will have so much fun with these. I personally do glitter glue every single time, so this is not an extra step for me. I do this anyways. I do this with Natasha Denona, with Pat McGrath. I do this even with Tom Ford. Like, this is not extra for me. I cannot wait to see what this brand will give us in the future. I really hope that we will have an amazing Christmas launch maybe this year, kind of a holiday launch going on. And Lethal Cosmetics, if you see this, I would shit my fucking pants if we could work together. But if I ever get the chance to work with them, or maybe even collab with them, oh, you know, that is one of those industry life goals that I have. Working with Lethal Cosmetics only once in my life, that would be absolutely awesome, because I 100% stand behind this brand. I think they have amazing values that they just communicate to the customers. They have an amazing price range. They're not like too expensive, but they're also not like to selling themselves like under their worth. They exactly know how much their shades are worth it, and that people will pay this price. I love the designer thing. I love that you can buy pre-made palettes. I have nothing to criticize about the eyeshadows. I have nothing to say about the lip products. Like, if you have them, let me know. Do you like them? Don't you? If you have the eyeshadows from them, let me know down below. Do you like them? Do you not? And that's it for now. So don't forget to check the info box, because everything around like my other social is down there. There's also a code, not a code, it's a link to a website where you can support this channel. So maybe support the next Lethal Cosmetics purchase, for example. And that's it. If you like this, let me know down below. Subscribe for more fun shit. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you in the next one.